Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, August 5, 2021, Thursday. And this talk, as usual, in routine regarding quality and safety, and of course, in relation to engineering, field engineering, civil field engineering, quality AnnexSL structure, COVID-19 safety, health and environment, and engineer's role in relation to these two: designs, construction, methods, contracts, organizations, communications, coordinations, and why be behind quality of concrete standards, materials. And this talk is 446. Truly speaking, every day I am inclined to talk because of responsibilities of those professionals who have achieved certain certificates of competency in their lives, in their professional basis. After having been educated academically, they have educated themselves by experience, and based on that attainment, they have got certain certificates like chartered engineer, professional engineer, or you can say any other certificate, for example, competency certificate like this. And for sure, they got certain other certifications that could be, you may say, membership certificates, which are very important from every viewpoint. These certificates cannot be achieved by speech or just by paying money. These certificates are achieved because of real competency one earns. One has to first achieve certain educational degrees, for example, engineering degree, field of profession for a couple of years for that level of certain competency, design competency, work in field competency, or some other competency that should be used for development of this world, quality development of this world. It's no joke that we can simply say certificate is there, which means competency is there, and that competency must be seen, must be evident, you can say, in work. If it's not done, means there exists some doubt, some suspicion that whether or not this person is genuine. But I can simply say, in these cases, there is no question of being genuine or not genuine. These certificates clearly demand something from those personnel who have these certificates, and that demand is this. That demand is quality. Quality requirement, quality demand, quality target, quality goal, quality in totality. Quality in totality, I am saying, because of total quality management, total quality organizational requirement, means whatever product is delivered must have competent quality, consistent quality. That quality cannot be described in spelling of quality word. It has very long and many definitions involving many points. Many points in their own system of quality, many points in their own nature of product quality, or whatever specifications are set out for whatever project or whatever activity. No activity in life can be free of certain descriptions of requirement, which is known as specification. And specification cannot be turned out because you can say it's too difficult to work. Specification means difficulty. Specification means specific, not general. General, specific or particular are different terminologies. If I say general means I won't describe anything and say okay, you know it is general, everybody should know it because it is general. You go to vegetable market and buy vegetable. You go to buy some notebook, you can just pay money and say get me this notebook, you don't check what quality is. But when you buy something which depends on quality, for example you buy milk, you can say okay, how much, what is content of this milk, what is content of this tea, you want a description, I want that level of tea, can you give me this tea? You don't realize that, but okay, I want less sugar, I want more milk or less milk, I want tea leaf more or less, or I want to travel 50 kilometers and this tea should be effective for that. Or you want to take some other item, you go to restaurant, etc. Oh, I want chapati of this label, I want bread of this label, I want vegetable like this. Means there are certain descriptions which you say, okay, I get that. But when I'm talking of quality, all this is also quality, but this is not a written document, this is just assumed document. When I say quality means it's something different, it's something specific, it's something which cannot be ignored, it's something that you have to accept, and that is specification. If I pay some money, though I don't agree in writing with that seller, I would get this or you shall give me this, but it is written on products itself or in some other document by that manufacturer that this is specification we use or we provide for this product, or this contents are the means on some product you'll find this is content, chemical content is this and this is that and that is this temperature you should maintain, all this is written on certain product. That means that is specification of that product and you have to maintain the specification. They have also said that subject is that it's not only specification, in that case when some instruction is given that product must be maintained within this specific requirements. That's another issue. But the quality requirement both ends, that is. When say disclaimers is put on certain products, I won't be responsible because this is beyond our condition. We will take responsibility only provided these conditions are maintained. That's also written there. So there are different values, different things. But what I'm talking in general, specific is product must have quality which is mentioned, which is claimed to have been produced with. If that claim is there on any product and other conditions are there, I agree with that. That product must work accordingly. That product must give you that one. If you don't get that, there's something wrong. There's some contravention of that specification, and that's where I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about that state where you claim something, you claim that we have done this product, we have produced the product under these conditions. These are contents of products. The performance of that depends on these contents. Performance shall depend on that design, on that content which are claimed. Claim on paper or claim on sticker means it should be within that product. This means ultimately performance of that product is main requirement. If that product does not perform, this means there is something not covered in while producing that article. While delivering that or manufacturing process goes on and that specification is not maintained correctly. Therefore, performance is impacted upon or no performance is done. That's where I speak. This product or this good can be in whatever branch of engineering. All branches can suffer. All is to be very strict matter that we maintain that level of description or more than that. Which is called, if you have more than that, which means there's some value you have added to your specification, So specification and supplementary specification which you added with that product can be called quality product and value added quality product. When it's value added quality product, you can be proud of that product. I got it, provided it performs. And if it doesn't perform, it's only value added. That means this is nothing but trash or kachra, or you can say rubbish or rags. That's what I'm saying. I buy product for what purpose? There is some purpose, that's why I buy product or somebody buys product. That purpose should be fulfilled. And if that purpose is not fulfilled, if your seller says, okay, I will replace it, and seller doesn't replace also, what do you say in that case? If seller says, no, take something else. No, that's not acceptable. If you don't abide by quality, you don't comply with quality for this, then how can I be given surety other product with quality product? That's the point of view. And you can also say, I'll make payment for this. I can't help you. You also can't say that, because you are selling product. You are not person to return money. Returning money is not a solution. Means you are running away. You run away from your responsibility of quality. You don't want to stick to quality, or you don't want to accept that you are not a quality person or quality manufacturer, and you want to pay back money. My agreement was not to pay back or not to take back. When I bought this product, that transaction is called an agreement. That this product, if paid so much amount, it will serve you. And if that product doesn't serve me, that means this is defective product and must be immediately replaced by working product. But if you say no, we cannot do it, this means you are not a quality abiding person. Your system has defect, and it's your duty to rectify that defect, remedy that defect. And if you cannot do that, you have no right to be in market. So simple. You got no right to be in market if you can't do that. Just saying or stating I can pay you back is not solution at all. Not solution. It's not solution. Because consumer pays money for product and does not pay money for taking back that money. This means you are cheating yourself, you are cheating customer. There is a waste of time. There is waste of so many right things. There are waste of so many complaints. And then you are saying take your money back. No. Give me that product which you claimed, or get lost from this market. That is real treatment with a manufacturer. Because you can't play with people's sentiments. If I buy something, I pay, and that something should work for me. And if it doesn't work for me, I should immediately get replacement, or else I should break your head. That's all in my mind. It is money. It is business. You can't do that. Why you are in business then? Why you are cheating people? Why you are doing false declarations? This is all false declaration. My quality product works for you. When there is no quality product, it's by chance if it works, and it's by chance it does not. If it is work, you take credit, and if it does not work, you have to take debit. And debit is either you replace it immediately without any fail, without any delay, or you be out of market. It doesn't matter what cost product is, because it's happening very seriously. No quality exists in market. This is evident. Quality is absent in general. It may be product quality, manufactured quality, it may be construction quality, it may be design quality, it may be whatever you can say, transaction quality. Digital world doesn't mean only messages. This means quality also. Quality should be everywhere. And if it does not exist, this means big flop somewhere. The digital world shall not give me material. It shall not give me food. It shall not give me something else, no anything else. It's only medium that we use. I am not paying you. I did not pay you for SMS or for telling me when I shall get that material or 10 SMS you send to me. I am not interested in those SMS. I am interested in performance of product or immediate replacement if by error that product is not well delivered or well made. And that is responsibility of ultimate manufacturer, irrelevant from where this material is bought, because manufacturer is responsible for that. That is where we find problem is. Big problem is you get material online. If it comes okay, it's fine, you are lucky. If doesn't come okay, you are in problem, because it is a long process and they won't give you, may say no, you take another one. That is not acceptable, and money back is also not acceptable, because I have wasted time. Who shall pay for that? Who shall give me back my time? That is a question here. Also, it implies to safety, health and environment. These both requirements, quality, safety, health and environment, certainly appear to be missing in system somewhere, because your people are lazy. That's why this product has lost quality. Your people are careless. That's why this product has lost quality. Your people are not environment friendly. That's why this product has lost quality, because something has lapsed somewhere. That is duty of that organization to check, to discover where they have lost. Otherwise, return your certificate of quality system. Why do you claim you have quality certificate? Why do you claim you have an organization having this certification? You have no right to claim. If you claim in public, you have to be support of public. Public is not your friend if you don't give quality material. Public pays to you and you give material. This is transaction. There is no obligation on either part. It's an agreement. Purchase agreement, sales purchase agreement. You are a seller and other party is a purchaser. It's right of purchaser that purchaser should get quality complete as indicated or given, and it's duty of seller to give you quality product. If there's a lapse, there's a breach of trust, there's a breach of, you can say, violation of conditions. Of course, it is not written agreement, but it is agreement. This you have duty to immediately replace bad product with good one, or else you are not doing what you agreed on that condition or on that contract. I'm not saying that you are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying manufacturer is bad or bad quality. But product speaks that there's something wrong. Irrelevant of cost. I'm not talking of cost. It may be billions dollars, it may be $0.1. Doesn't matter. Question is system. You can place people in system. If people sleep, there's no meaning of their existence. If people don't check, this is no meaning of those people. I don't want that system in which quality cannot come out. It may be your approved system. It may be within guidelines of organizational standards or standardization organizations like ISO 9000 system, quality standardization, or there may be some other. That's not particular case. That system cannot guarantee quality, but manufacturer has to guarantee quality. I'm not blaming system. That system just guides you, and that system support agents guide you, certify that you work within that. But it's you have to work. They can't guarantee your product. You have to guarantee your product, and that guarantee doesn't mean guarantee of 1 day or 2 day or 2 year or 1 year. That guarantee should be lifelong, provided that product is used properly according to your specifications, or else you can say yes, there is a there's trademark, and there is warranty conditions. Some says 1 year, some says 2 year. That's okay, that's not a big problem, because there are so many parts in every product, and whatever part can be defective, because all parts are not in control of manufacturer also. I agree with that. But if your product doesn't work at all, what do you have to say? That's my point of view. And it's very serious point of view. It's not because you produce thousands of products and millions of products and sell them. And Sigma says just 3 products in 1 million should be defective. But if you buy 2 or 4 and you get 2 defective, or you say you buy 4 and get 1 defective, this means 25% defect is there. If you buy 2 and get 1 defective, 50% defect is there, then where is Sigma? Where is that requirement? Means you just certify yourself, you have certification, and claim that we abide by this. We follow guidelines of this system, but fact remains that your people sleep. You may sit in good offices, you may have very air conditioned and well furnished worktops, you have workstations, you have a very beautiful environment in your office, but if product doesn't speak of that, it's all rubbish. You may be general manager, you may be MD, you may be CEO, you may be whosoever you are, you may be billionaire, doesn't matter to me if your product is rubbish. Simple saying. Why should you, even if product is rubbish, I can say, even if product is non-performing, it's your duty to ensure that it works before you dispatch or before you pack. This means if product doesn't work, you missed that point, and missing is no excuse. It's very serious observation. I am a consumer, I am a customer, but I am head of audit. I don't care for auditors. I am myself auditor, and if I find that this product doesn't work, I am a physical auditor, material auditor. I am not going to see your files, because there is no meaning of see files whether your system was approved or it worked, because it has failed on this point. Only remedy is your system should say we replace it immediately. You may make more expenses on that or whatever, that's not my problem. You just like you deliver free of cost, you have to deliver replacing product and take back your product. That is right way, and it should not take 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It should be immediately done when you get defective call. Your product is defect, by mail or by the voice, you should make another delivery. I don't care how. That's your problem. You cannot harass people. You cannot harass people. There is no way you can harass people. And if you harass people, you may be HP, you may be Microtech, or you may be whatever lord of this world. I don't care. I am citizen, I am non-citizen. It doesn't matter. I must get what I pay you, and what you claim on your product, it must be done. It is question of quality status. It's not question of money or no money. It's not question of you get me money or no. I don't pay you. I did not pay you. That you give it back to me. Who are you to give it back to me? You give me product by whatever means you have to give me, you give me, or I condemn you openly in public. I least bother if I lose my money. Question of principle, question of quality, question of system. You don't stick to anything. Sometime you say one point, then you say another point, then you say third point, then you say fourth point. Who are you to say that? It's myself, it's customer that has to rule. It's not seller that has to give judgments. You are only a seller, a shopkeeper, a kiosk owner, nothing else. You are getting profit because of sales, and you are selling because of manufacturing. And that manufacture is important, that process is important. And if you cannot do that, you have no right to be in market. Simple saying. Give me back your certificate. I don't need your certificate of quality, because that certificate is for me, not for you. If you are a certified ISO 9000, you claim, or Sigma, you claim, it's for me, not for you. This certificate tells me that you have this competency, you have this quality. If you don't have this quality, you have no right to be in market for that product. If you can do, you do. Or you can be kicked out. Remember, quality is very important. Safety, health and environment very important. And your transaction dealing is very important. Quality doesn't mean manufacturing quality of product. This means quality of your system. How does it perform? Quality of your transactions, how you tackle. Quality of your judgments or decisions that you make within your organizational management. If all this cannot be done, you cannot change one decision for second and second for third. You have no right for that. This is one end decision. You have to keep up your words. You have to maintain quality. You cannot harass customers. It's no question of that what action will be taken. Question is, today in this age, there is no meaning of national or international wave. All are same. Yes, reputation is of course meaningful if they maintain, and if they don't maintain, there is no meaning of quality. I am very serious about quality because I have been in such systems where quality was important, progress was important, both were important. You cannot take customer for granted in quality. You cannot take public for granted when safety, health and environment is concerned. And public here means your workers also, your factory environment, your manufacturing area environment. All are involved. So if those people are tired, those people have to work 14 hours a day, certainly quality shall be affected. We are not living for your profit. No one is living in this world for companies' profits, for manufacturers' profit, or those employees with you are also not for profit. It's very important point, very, very important point, that quality matter is very significant. If you take it positively, concentration is there in that decision. Concentration means not one-ended decision. You have to take into account immediate replacement by whatever way. You have to do that so that you can learn a lesson from your best management, from your abusive management. That point you have to understand. And if you can't understand, you can be kicked out, remember. It's not that I'm saying time to do that. Your good dressing, your air-conditioned offices are not requirement of time. It's quality of product, which again I say, no standard organization, no standardized organization, no standardization organization can claim. Only manufacturer can claim, no one else. Manufacturer can claim even though manufacturer may not be certified, but if quality is good, quality acceptable, consumer certifies that, consumer visits that again and again and buys more product. It's very important issue. Every person in world has to know this. These manufacturers of whatever profile cannot be forgiven. They may be whatever level, can't be forgiven. If they make mistakes and then they claim something they should not, and they have no right, again I say, they have no right to play with customers. No right can be given to them. because customer pays money, customer buys product, and when customer buys product, it should work. And if it doesn't work, immediate replacement is required with good product or working product. And if it doesn't happen, that means this manufacturer has no liability. This manufacturer doesn't care for customer. That is important point. It's not because I lost products, I lost money. Loss or no loss. This is principle of quality. Manufacturer is responsible for quality of product and has a liability to replace it immediately at whatever cost. Cost return is another abuse with customer. Means you want to get rid of your responsibility? No, it's not allowed. You have to maintain it. It's very important point actually. Then about COVID-19, which is another problem of this world under safety, health and environment, because this has degraded, detrimental is there by COVID-19, and particularly supplements like Delta, which is now very significant for whole world. And they are not speaking openly, but fact remains that heavy impact is working on 8 billion people of world. I have seen people have forgotten COVID. That's bad one. 95% or 90% people have stopped using masks. That's bad one. Even if you are vaccinated, inoculated, you have no right to give away mask. Well, I should say right, because it applies to others who can be infected by yourself. COVID-19 is still working. It is not gone. It has just started working. And Delta, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, all these are evidences that tell you without speech, be careful. Don't take it for granted that COVID has down or gone. Don't compare it with numbers that is reported in for infections or positive cases. Don't depend upon that. Depend upon facts. A country where their world claims that it started from, that's China. They say China is again its grip. Many states in China are captured of COVID-19 Delta. If China knows everything about this, then it should not be there. It should not have been there. But COVID-19 Delta is working in China also. It's working in USA. It's working in England, UK. It's working in Europe. It's working in our Bharat, India. It's working in Indonesia. It's working in many, many other parts of world. They say 100 countries, and I say all over world it's working. We have to take care. Even vaccinated people cannot get rid of Delta. They say it will affect less. Okay, affect less or no less. It will affect. This means vaccinations are not 100%, you can say, useful against Delta. So do not harm others by your senseless style that I am vaccinated, it will not infect me. It can infect you. It may not infect you, but you may infect someone else, because you cannot stop its entry into body. Only you can do it that its impact may be less. Its adverse impacts may be lesser in your body, but you can release those impacts to others, and you have no right to impact others. That's main point. Very, very bad news, very, very serious news are pouring in regarding Delta. And China is a smart country which can order all its citizens of that city to be tested. Our country failed in testing. Our country means Bharat, India, has completely failed in testing in 19 months, and they have no plans as such to test. So I can say, as far as safety is concerned, health is concerned, We people in Bharat, India are sleeping society. Our government always remains in dreams, and we people are ready to die, but we are not here able to fight with system and force government to test. Everybody gets no money, everybody has no money to test, and everybody cannot spend money to test. That's why testing is very limited. Shameful we are. Now there is no meaning of self-biting or self-speaking as such. What to do? Everything is out of control. Government says, government lies everywhere. All governments of world have been lying, and we are top. We are top in this case. Every government is diverting attention of their citizens by daily declarations that we are lifting restrictions, we are opening this, we are opening that, this is passport of COVID, this is this and this is that. This is all tactics to remain in power, because people around world have started claiming from, say, Tunisia, you failed to control COVID, you get out. Same happens in many other areas of world. We could not care for our state of health, our safety, then you have no right to be in that. That's right, means somewhere something is right. We have to accept that. Now no more explanations on quality system and safety, because I think you understand what I mean. I am very, very serious about quality, because in our country, Bharat, India, I am not finding any degree of quality. I am not finding engineering community very serious. I am not finding that. I could not find engineers who are responsible for quality have serious thought on that. They are very good in designs, they are very good in planning, they are very good in bad construction. I should say bad construction, I can't say good construction. They are very good in bad manufacturing, they are very good in bad everything, they are good in bad traffic arrangement, they are very good in bad health arrangement, they are very good in everything, bad discipline, bad seriousness. They are not nowhere. That is, you can say, achievement of our people. And I straight away blame, first I blame manufacturers or industrialists, and then I blame engineers, because engineers have no independent right. They can't speak due to they are being employers or officers or directors of that company organization. So I can't blame them fully. And manufacturer has no other vision except to make money and just to have status, false status, fake status by sending substandard materials or substandard goods or substandard, you can say, products to market, and only thinking of money. And public is silent and serious because public is ignorant. They are not told what even quality means. They are not told they are not educated well, you can say, about requirement of quality. They are not educated about safety, health and environment, and they can be taken for granted, and they are taken for granted. And it's duty of all society to stand once for quality, but society also doesn't stand. I think I did not find such hopeless, such non-serious, such sleeping society, citizenry elsewhere in the world as we have. Maybe either they don't know, or they do not know, or they have no more time for this because they are just busy in making money for earning money for livelihood, which is of course primary requirement. If they can't eat food, you can't expect them to fight for all this. But those who use materials, they spend money. Of course they may curse themselves, why did they buy this product, or they throw that product on the head of shopkeeper. This is possible. But what I say, I was fond of online purchase, but now I have to think again that should I opt for purchase or I have to go to open market and buy. I have to change my opinion now because of mistrust in these manufacturers. These manufacturers are hopeless. these manufacturers, maybe international one, are hopeless all, and we can't hope because they have a lot of money. I think that's the reason that they have strength of consumers or customers or buyers. They have big agreements with big organizations, and they say what this person would do, what this not do. Question is not of person, question is of standards, question is of quality. So I'll now jump onto hazards, safety, which is actual topic, and I discussed that one last time, and I think 2 days back, because yesterday my system broke. I mean, this FB live video did not work. I could speak only for about 25 minutes, and I could not touch up that which I am going to do now. So we had gone through hazards control in chapter 24. Hazards control, we have gone through this. Now we are going through certain, you can say, yes, these charts were important that time, and we had to do, what is that? Yeah, I was talking of these items. Yeah, these items I completed, and then we can say job hazard analysis we had to do. Well, I'm sure this was right. Yes, now I say attachment 2, and that's very important point. In job hazard analysis, we have to do yes. Yeah, I had gone through these items. With attachment 1 start card, I was talking of safety task analysis, risk reduction talk. That is called START. Full form is, abbreviation is STARRT, and full form is safety task analysis, risk reduction talk or technique, both. And actually this is a card. It's given by work supervisor. Date, job description is given, what job is given, and then primary hazardous risk, what's the risk in that location. Means these are very, very primary requirements here. You have to write who's supervisor, then in that case, in that card, start card, what's date on that day, what's job description, means you can write what job is given to that worker, and what are primary hazards risks in that. Every activity, actually job means activity or part of activity that is allotted to a worker, and what are expected hazards covered or involving that activity. There could be 1 hazard, 2 hazard, depends on activity, and then where is location of that. This is primary title or requirement. Then we have to see discipline wise, means out of these important points, supervisor is just the name or title, that is also not very significant. Significant is job description and primary hazard risks. And job description is which sub-discipline it is. For example, electrical it is. Electrical, there you can add more activity in that. And example is here only. Locked and tagged, say yes or no. Try and test, say yes or no. Disconnect means you are going to start a job. Then what you have to do with that? You may have to think of this. You have to mention locked or tagged, try and test, disconnect, and else also. Whatever you do, it's an example only. In excavation, we can say that, we can say showed or not. Yes, you can see that. I should blow it a little. We can say that in excavation, for example, we can say showed that or battered. What's requirement there? And you say yes or no, or not applicable. And also ladder provided or not, that you can say. A daily inspection and entry permit, or else whatever you think there is. You have to, these are checks only. It depends on every every, you can say, case, what should be inspected, what points can be there. These are not hard and fast points, these are just guide points, means indicative points, what you should see. Then you can say hazards, body, like you can say in excavation or somewhere else, it can be fall potential, pinch points, electrical shock, housekeeping, all these means you can say here. Then slip trip, flying particles, thermal burns, manual lifting, sharp objects. This is in hazards, body, can you fall? Hazard for your body. Pinch, can it pinch something on your body? It may be scaffolding or something else, or nails even, that can pinch your feet or sole. The electrical shock, it can happen to anybody, everyone. Housekeeping, where you have broomed, your floor is clean, your desk is clean, there's no dust, there's no piece of paper lying here and there, and there's no cable on floor. Or I can say toilets are clean or not. Or you can say slip trip, is there water or oil on your floors, you can trip. Or flying particles or dust particles. Or you can say thermal burns, manual lifting, sharp objects. Or you can say there's a requirement of permit or no permit. That's a question mark for hot work or works in areas of operation, operator area. Permits question, hot work permit, confined space permit, braking process, excavation, critical life lift plan, personal basket. So many issues can be there. Emergency equipment, about that you can say fire extinguisher, safety shower, eye wash, permit displayed, all conditions met, evacuation, assembly area. It just indicate him only whether what happens to them. These are yes or no or not applicable. Means if fire extinguisher is required, it must be there. If safety shower is required, must be there. Eye wash, if it's required, is very essential. And permit are imposted or no. All conditions are met. Or evacuation or assembly area, means these are all emergency requirements and must be checked. Then we can say these are environmental hazards. Hazards which are environment covering. What is airborne particle? Whatever particle of silt or clay in air. Or what is about vapors? What about hot, cold surfaces? What about hot, cold materials? Noise, heat stress. Likewise, proper equipment, you can say. Proper equipment means man lift. What about that? This is an equipment. Personal basket. Forklift is a machine which lifts and transports. It's called forklift. It lifts package and transports it, and then it unloads, offloads there. Then JLG lift, of course crane. It can be tower crane, it can be mobile crane, it can be whatever else crane. Then chain fall, and of course hand tools, manual tools, power tools, hand tools but powered one, non-manual, electrically operated, or gas or air operated, compressed air, or good conditions, operator certificate, proper rigging, current inspection, trucks, tractors, etc., excavators, rock breakers, and many other equipment. Many else equipments, you can say. Overhead work or flood opening. Overhead work or floor opening. You can say overhead work or floors opening. It happens. Fixed barricades, if that floor is open, barricades are there or no. Tape danger, there is tape danger or no. Caution means you should have written there danger by tape, caution. And barriers, signs also must be given. Hole cover, cleat, handrail, toe board. just item. It covers temporary safety works like scaffolding, external or internal. Then process equipment process like valves locked, yes or no, etc. Tags hung, blinds installed and tagged, proofed, and likewise many more. This process equipment. Standby persons, confined space means if there is someone specified required, you have to keep some person on standby, and that's in confined space. Or fire watch, sandblast person, traffic watch. Then you go to example of welding shields, fire blankets. Means these are items that are required to be inquired and then checked. Shields, fire blanket for welding, fire extinguisher for welding area, cylinders secured, combustibles moved sparks, then sparks contained. These are precautionary measures that we have to do before we do some job, and that's part of job hazard analysis. Hazards and chemical hazards, MSDS reviewed, and chemical burns, skin, eye irritant, inhalation. Then personal protective equipment, which are very important item for everyone. Work gloves, chemical gloves, anti-vibration gloves, wet suits, foot guards, rubber boots, mono goggles, not googles, goggles. There's a difference. Google is a search engine. I'm talking of goggles. Then face shield, fresh air, ear protection, safety harness, burning goggles, hard hat, safety glasses, respirator, and others. Then you have to write here employee name who fills this in respective activities on that card, and then employee signature. There can be many, one, not two or one, whoever and group, and then supervisor's name and supervisor signature. Now we are going to job hazard analysis and control program sheet. What we should do for that? That's the important point here. But we should for that job hazard analysis, and we should for that. And there is, it's I can say it's pro forma, and that pro forma is job hazard analysis, description, location, and page of. Now what table says? Key job steps, then potential injury or health effect, tools or equipment used, engineering safe practices, equipment, PP, etc. We have to fill in this. Means then a responsible supervisor, safety, health, and representative. This is pro forma of job hazard analysis, ZHA. Now we are going to talk about list. That's very important from every point of view. And this says job hazard analysis and control program sheets. This point, of course, is very significant from understanding viewpoint and application viewpoint, because this is hazard analysis. Now there are so many activities from disciplines. For example, numbers are there. That's for this chart, for this page. Civil works, it says civil works general, mechanical, electrical, general, civil, mechanical, temporary, civil, general, civil, all that is there. So we'll go one by one and see how it happens. Each activity. Now it says in civil works, excavation. In civil works, it's also concrete and shuttering, and also In civil work it says in civil work, concrete pours and steel fixing, as well as backfilling of excavations. And also in civil work says erection of fencing fabrication of gates. Civil work says erection of gates, and then rock drilling, rock blasting, site transport. This is just in civil examples is given. It's not that it relates to some product only, some project. Then in general, it is transportation of gas cylinders, gas cutting, grinding, welding, diesel engines. This is in general. And also material handling, handling of steel, handling of timber. And also it says that in general, use of hazardous substances and removal of waste material. Then it says site transport. This is in general. And of course, mechanical installation, radiography, pressure testing, and transportation, lifting of heavy equipment, then erection of steel work, installation of pipeline and valve fittings. And now we'll go to after mechanical, temporary works, erection of scaffolding, provision and maintenance of safe scaffolding, dismantling of scaffolding. And also site preparations, it said earthworks. Electrical, it says electrical works. And likewise it says electrical installations means cable laying, cable termination, cable pulling, cable drum handling. So let's see. So it is, now we can say like this: 001 excavation, 002 concreting and shuttering. And likewise we'll go through and see what next page says. Now these are forms for each. These are hazard analysis and control program. For each activity we'll see how it does. Now it is A001, which is this one. Activity maybe 001, that is 001, and we have to see that what it says about that. Now it is A001, hazard analysis control program. This excavation activity. We have to write excavation there and activity, and what are hazards involved in that we have to write here. Hazard is the cables, piping buried underground, that could be hazard in excavation. Cable, pipes buried underground, existing structures and buildings could be there. Existing pipes being stuck or cracking at joints. Vehicles, plant driving into excavation. Personnel falling into excavation. Collapse of excavation. Accumulation of gas water. These are few points written, but there can be more. Well, just to discuss means what these points are and what are the control measures. So here it is again, I say that cable pipes, cable pipelines buried underground, existing structures, buildings, and existing pipes being stuck or cracking at joints. Vehicles, plant driving into excavation, personnel falling into excavation, collapse of excavation, accumulation of gas water. Now what could be control measures according to you, that you have to think and write your example. Here it is: cable detection instrument, if there is existing cable. Cable detection instrument or tool to be used prior to excavating in order to determine cable routes. No direct excavation by mechanical equipment should be conducted in that case. Means you have to use only manual excavation. When cable existence is expected, You have to use cable detection instrument and see if cable exists, and if it exists, you cannot use any excavator to excavate that area. You have to excavate by manual work or by hand to find what it is first of all. Then you can say services record drawings to be used to know it. Services record drawing, as we have discussed many times, services record drawings to be used to determine existing cable pipeline route. Trial hand digging as excavation, generally we call it excavation. Some people call digging, no problem. Let safety people say digging. Trial hand digging excavation to be undertaken in order to verify cable pipeline route, and then detailed study to be undertaken if excavation work is to be carried out adjacent to existing and or temporary foundations buildings. Very important point. Detailed study to be undertaken when there is existing building. If excavation work is to be carried out in area adjacent to existing or temporary foundations of buildings. Temporary shoring, what to do? You may say temporary shoring or supporting of structures in order to prevent collapse to be approved and completed prior to commencement of excavation. You cannot start excavation if there exists some building, so they have to take care of that, but loads of transfer to that building, new one, and temporary shoring must be there so that it collapses subsides. Pipe work or cable exposed by excavation to be supported. Stop barriers to be provided around where necessary at excavation edges in order to prevent vehicles driving into them. Banksman to be provided. Direction man, you can say, on which we can bank upon for safety. That's called banksman. Banksman to be provided whenever vehicles are working adjacent to excavations. Guardrails to be erected around excavations where risk of falling being 1.222 meters or more. Excavations deeper than 1.2 meter should be adequately opened, benched or supported. Opened, benched or supported. Certain soils do not allow benching, which excavation should be protected by supports or by sheathing. Continuous dewattering is required. Continuous dewattering is required when soil is susceptible to subsidence. If there are chances that your soil may subside, continuous dewatering is a must. Continuous dewatering is required when soil is susceptible to subsidence by water. A survey of area to be carried out to assess risks to whatever adjacent structures and or utilities that may exist. Operators to be briefed on certain identified potential hazards. Prior to commencement of excavation, it has to be structurally studied by from soil report or elsewhere, whatever information we can get about that soil, about that subsoil strata. So we can say prior to commencement of excavation, that information is to be studied from a structural viewpoint of soil, or analyzed whether or not proposed excavation would result in subsidence of adjacent structures. In such a situation, excavation cannot be commenced with until that portion is well protected against such risks. Adequate access arrangements should be made for all concerned to ingress and egress from trench to pit safely. Benches or ramps may be constructed if soil properties permit so and required land area is available. These are few points in excavations. There can be more and more points depending on your site conditions, your requirements. Then we'll go to civil works in A02 that says unsafe. This concrete and shuttering, it's also good one, concrete and shuttering. So we will discuss this. Let's say we'll discuss about this. Meanwhile, I have to go for 10 minutes as usual to stretch my leg. Please excuse me for that. I can't help it. My leg is now not responding, so I have to go to just walk on the steps of staircase and also wait for 5-10 minutes. Please help me. Sorry, little delay, what to do. So we are talking of civil work, and it was RCC. We are talking of form work and concrete. We have to talk of in this, and what we say. Civil works actually is written, no problem. It can be civil work or what, doesn't matter as far as this is concerned. It says in this, it says that concreting and shuttering activities, that concreting and form work, you can say. In this there are hazards like unsafe means of access onto shuttering or form work. Unsafe means there is, we'll see, manual and mechanical handling and use of cement, concrete, use of hand tools, power tools. Only these points, but there can be more also. We'll see. Now it says unsafe means of access onto shuttering, which means temporary access, that is steps or step stairs or ladder. Ladder is not acceptable. It is only step stair. You can say ladder. I mean, say where steps means risers and treads of timber or ply are made with the handrails. That should be there, but it is unsafe means there is no such. Only you say put a ladder or something. That is not acceptable. Manual and mechanical handling, both manual handling and mechanical handling and use of cement, concrete, and use of hand tools, power tools. Now what measures are required in this regard that we have to read? Access for personnel to carry out work on form work or shuttering to be planned. You cannot simply at random say you can do this. You must do professional planning on that. Working platform requires to be temporarily erected for columns and beams. Working platforms on which we shall pour concrete or we shall work for that preparatory activity. These platforms required to be temporarily erected for columns and beams. Access platforms to be erected for whole area for access. Stepped ladders to be erected when higher level works are carried out. Ladders shall not be allowed in such cases. No nails should be allowed to be dropped here and there. All nails should be removed from site in every case. Nail can punch into feet of workers. Safe means of access. Safe means of access to be provided at all times. Safe means of access to be provided all times in order to prevent risk of falls from high height. Safe means of access. Absolutely safe means of access to be provided all times in order to prevent risk of falls from height. Suitable and sufficient crane hoisting to be provided in order to alleviate manual handling of shuttering and associated components. Manual handling of procedures to be developed and implemented. For manual handling, assembly of forms should be done on site location rather than in carpentry shop or yard. Mechanical handling of assembled or fabricated sites to be controlled by experienced slingers. Mechanical handling of assembled or fabricated sites to be controlled by experienced slingers. Where necessary, banksmen considering for guiding crane operator, high wind conditions and associated risks to be recognized. Personnel to be provided with appropriate PPE, that is personal protective equipment, during work involving cement, concrete. We have to provide gloves, hand gloves, rubber safety footwear, respiratory protective equipment, which is abbreviated RPE, hearing protection, eye protection, etc. Training to be given on hazards associated with work with cement, concrete. Hand and power tools to be properly maintained. Defective tools shall not be used. Generally, electric saws and electric drills are used on farms which must be protected during work. Industrial sockets should be used for protection. Industrial sockets should be used for protection. Dangerous moving parts of machine. Hold on. Machinery. Dangerous moving parts of machinery to be guarded. Proper handling of vibrators should be instructed. Carpenters must be available on examination of loosening props. Supports. Carpenters must be available on examination of loosening props and supports. Pouring concrete is a continuous operation which makes it necessary to arrange cold liquids for consumption to prevent dehydration during hot hours as well as rest pauses, intervals. During cold weather conditions, tea or coffee should be allowed to be served. Rest pauses must be planned for workers in stages or groups. And washout area for concrete trucks to be identified to prevent builds up. Safety, we are not talking engineering of controls. Safety says that you cannot just put ladder and rise or ascend. You have to provide riser and tread combination of steps with rails, and you have to use that only for purpose of accessing to working platform. Otherwise, you cannot do that. That's a must for work, because you have to take material, you have to take people, and you have to do work on that steps. It's those temporary, but it should be durable, it should be strong, it should be resistant, and it should be there for columns, for beams, for slab, for everyone. When you are working on columns, you should complete working platform, because you have to work on columns, you have to pour also. So you should have continuous platform on that. It should be durable one for that purpose. And you have to keep vibrator also on that, as well as on slabs. You have to keep vibrators. You have to let people stand there. You have to move here and there. Means it should be strong enough, and you can say resistant enough to bear also. Or else its supports can open, and which can lead to danger. So access platform to be erected, whole area of access. Step ladders to be stair, you should say rather. Step stair to be erected when high level works are carried out. No ladder is accepted. No nails are allowed to be thrown here and there or to lie here and there. No timber with nail pieces allowed to be left here and there. It should all be removed. The site is kept tidy. All nails should be removed from site in every case, because nails can puncture the feet of whosoever. Then you have to keep in mind that fall risk exists from height. Means you must have some arrangements like railing around everywhere with complete arrangements, toe boards and all that. People should not fall, workers should not fall, or some other arrangements if you can have. Suitable and sufficient crane hoisting should be made necessary, because you have to shift fabricated shutter plates to that location. You also have to transport from fabrication area or assembly area of steel reinforcement to slab, if that is the case. So in both cases you have to use crane, mobile crane or tower crane, whatever crane is suitable for that access, for that reach or coverage of that area. And manual handling is also permitted in some cases when you say you cannot fabricate your forms. You have to take those materials one by one using crane or using something else. Manual handling can also be done. You can take, and you have to plan for that. What's the maximum weight and length these workers can keep on their shoulders and take up. Likewise means one by one they have to take, or they have to raise certain platforms for this purpose, so the one transfers to others and others to others. So manual handling procedure to be developed and implemented for manual handling. Assembly of forms should be done on site location rather than carpentry shop is used for that. Mechanical handling of assembled or fabricated sites to be controlled by experienced slingers. The slingers should know how to use these cranes, mechanical cranes like tower crane, like mobile crane, what's best way, and we have to keep some supporting banksmen also for direction purposes, so that these equipment, these materials do not strike every passing by. There should be no one in that working area of crane, in that zone. No one should be there except those people who work on that. Now, where necessary, banksmen, we are calling banksmen supporting people, directed people, banksmen considering for guiding crane operator, high wind conditions and associated risks to be recognized. Now it also says that you have to wear all required PPEs, which are very important from every point of view, because without that you are not allowed to work. And during concrete also all that are there, so we have to wear gloves, hand gloves, we have to wear hand gloves, not only those but also rubber gloves for steel workers, then rubber safety footwear, they are called gum shoes in fact in practical world, for purpose of those who are within concrete, working in concrete should not touch their feet, and rubber safety shoes must be used. Then respiratory pipe, respiratory protective equipment is also required if that's the case. Hearing protection can also be required because of voice of machines or mixer. Then eye protection, etc., etc. And complete training should be given to everybody about this, how to handle this. What happens if by chance concrete spatters goes to eyes? Means you must have treatment immediately. Likewise, while doing form work, you have to use your machines or equipment like tools, hand tools. While you use you use drills, electrical drills. You use hand drills. You can say for bolts purpose. These drills are used, and other saws can also be used. So no defective power tool should be used. No defective tool should be used. No defective even hammer should be used. So you have to make sure that whatever tool is used on that production should be fit for that purpose. Electric saws, electric drills are used, which must be protected by guards or by whatever means. And industrial sockets should be used and not ordinary domestic sockets. And dangerous moving parts of machinery to be guarded. As I said, proper handling of vibrators must be instructed. It's not played, we can't play with vibrator. This is a concrete issue. I'm not saying technical issue here. Best means it can't be abused by workers. It can't be played with. They have to use it according to instructions, and what height is given, how it is used. It is explained by technical people, and it has to be worked accordingly. Then you can say there should be some people at below slab for making sure that no support is loosed, no prop or no standard is loosed. And because pouring of concrete is continuous operation, and it is necessary to get some relief to continuous workers when they get dehydrated. That hydration is required. Some cold liquids must be given to them, and during cold weather conditions or otherwise tea or coffee should also be allowed. And of course there should be rest pauses, because concrete is very heavy and it brings fatigue to everybody too soon. Therefore there should be some, you may say, rest pauses, for which there should be replacing workers there. And we have to make sure that washed out area for concrete is to be fixed, identified to prevent build-up of waste. And there are so many other issues which I am not going to discuss here. Just for information is what hazards are there. Then there is transportation of gas cylinders. That's the activity. transportation of gas cylinder. We are going one by one as in sequence, so we could go directly for civil works, but no problem. Let us see, I have to come back up and down again and again. Now activities transportation of gas cylinders, which is very much hazardous activity, and there are chances of fire explosion during transport, and how to handle these cylinders manually, and how to contain health risk that can come because of mishandling. So risk is fire explosion during transportation of cylinders, and manual handling health risk and health risk. So what control measures are? Cylinders to be supported during transportation in order to prevent them from falling over. Cylinders to be supported during transportation in order to prevent them from falling over. Means there should be some trolley type cylinder should be used, that should be used for cylinders transportation. Cylinders to be segregated by type in order to prevent fire explosion risk. Caps of these cylinders, valve caps, to be fitted to all gas cylinders during transportation. Loading, offloading of cylinders to be carried out by only competent person utilizing correct slinging technique. Cylinders being offloaded from a vehicle. Cylinders being offloaded from a vehicle. Should not be dropped to ground and shall not be rolled. Cannot roll it horizontally. Only vertical position handling is permissible. Horizontal handling may result in leakage, though valves leading to handle, through valves leading to hazards. Cylinders being offloaded from a vehicle should not be dropped to ground and not to be rolled. Rolling of cylinders horizontally is not permitted. Only vertical position handling is permitted. Horizontal handling may result in leakage through valves leading to hazards. While cylinders are transported by vehicle in city, an alert should be sounded en route about travel so that others keep off vehicle, avoiding possible explosive danger. This is not done in our country, unfortunately, but I have seen this effect in Gulf countries, GCC countries, which you know, like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Qatar, or else. Means while cylinders are transported by vehicle in city, an alert should be sounded en route about travel of this truck or travel of gas cylinders so that others could keep off vehicle, avoiding possible explosive danger. There is then another one, and that is gas cutting. Gas cutting. Gas cutting hazard. Cylinder explosion. Cylinder can explode. Damage to eyes. Fire. Explosion risk. Live plant. Control measures. We have to take it. Let me just open door before somebody comes in. Let me do that. Hold on, please. Just a minute. It's very important. I remember. Meanwhile, just 2 minutes only. Okay, I was talking of gas cutting. That's here I say gas cutting, and this is, of course, I can say cylinder explosion. Oxygen cylinders say, it says that cylinder explosion in gas cutting, there is a chance of cylinder explosion, damage to ice, fire, explosion risk, that is live plant. Hazards are cylinder explosion, damage to ice, fire, explosion risk, live plant it is. Oxygen cylinders, valves and fittings should be free from any oil or any grease. Flashback arresters to be fitted to gas cylinders. There should be no flashback or fireback arresters. There should be arresters, with gas cylinder, because no flashback is allowed. Flashback arresters to be fitted to gas cylinders. Gas hoses or pipes and gauges, gauges to be maintained in safe condition and inspecting daily. Defective hoses and gauges are to be replaced immediately. Don't keep defective hoses and gauges, replace immediately. Cylinders to be used in vertical position and secured against falling, no horizontal position. Cylinders to be used in vertical position. Vertical position, not horizontal. Personnel carrying out gas cutting operations shall wear suitable eye protection. Suitable measures, namely provision of fire blankets, fire watches, shall be used to prevent risk of fire during cutting operations. Prior to gas cutting operations, in live plant areas, gas checking shall be carried out and work would proceed in accordance with permit to work requirements. So I repeat all these points because these are very important points. And it says, oxygen cylinder valves fittings to be kept free from grease or oil, flashback arresters to be fitted to gas cylinders, gas hoses and gauges to be maintained in safe condition and inspected daily. Defective hoses and gauges are to be replaced immediately. Cylinders to be used in vertical position and secured against falling. Personnel carrying out gas cutting operations shall wear suitable eye protection. Suitable measures, namely provision of fire blankets, fire watchers shall be used to prevent risk of fire during cutting operations. Prior to gas cutting operations in live plant areas, gas checking shall be carried out and work would proceed in accordance with permit to work. Very important point, and also I will try to trace out fire watchers. Fire watcher, I say actually a fire lookout, partly also called a fire watcher, is a person assigned duty to look for fire from atop a building known as lookout tower. Let us just go on to this very important point because of fire. So I'll take care of this in this talk. Of course, it's wicked we are looking at, but it can be, just a minute, please, coming in. It's very important. That's why I spend time on this. The sole purpose of this talk to explain. Now I'm looking at fire lookout. A fire lookout, partly also called fire watcher, a person assigned duty to look for fire from atop a building known as a fire lookout tower. These towers are used in remote areas, normally on mountain tops, with high elevation and a good view. Let's just saw a fire lookout called the fire watcher, a person assigned duty to look for fire from atop a building known as fire lookout tower. These towers are used in remote areas, normally on mountain tops. Once a possible fire is spotted, smoke reports center, ECC, emergency communication center, often by radio or phone. A fire lookout can use a device known as an Osborne firefinder to obtain radial in degrees of tower and estimated distance from tower of fire. Osborne firefinder. Part of lookout's duty include taking weather readings and reporting findings to Emergency Communications Center ECC throughout day. Often several lookouts shall overlap in coverage areas and each shall cross same smoke, allowing ECC to use triangulation from radials to achieve an accurate location of fire. On ground crews, once ground crews and fire suppression aircraft are active in fire suppression, lookout personnel continue to search for new smoke plumes which may indicate spotting and alterations that pose risk to ground crews. And so I repeat, once ground crews and fire suppression aircraft are active in fire suppression, lookout personnel continue to search for new smoke plumes which may indicate spotting and alterations that pose risk to ground crews. Working in a fire lookout tower in middle of a wilderness area takes a hardy type of person, one who can work with no supervision and is able to survive without any other human interaction. Some towers are accessible by automobile, but others are so remote a lookout must hike in or be lifted in by helicopter. In many locations, even modern fire lookout towers do not have electricity or running water. It's very important, I should repeat. Working in a fire lookout tower in middle of wilderness area takes a hardy type of person, very hard person, one who can work with no supervision and is able to survive without any other human interaction. Some towers are accessible by automobile, but others are so remote a lookout must hike in or be lifted in by helicopter. In many locations, even modern fire Look out. Towers do not have electricity or running water. Open. Hike.